morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 1020, in your teal hymnal, Wo Ya Ya, and the lyrics are on the screen. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know within, and we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there, but we know we will. Wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya, wo ya ya ya, wo ya ya ya, wo ya ya ya, wo ya ya ya, ya. Please be seated.
Now is the time to practice that which we seek to grow in our world. Deeply, compassionately, and at the scale of relationships in our communities.
As the governing and power structures of our world rely more and more on domination, exploitation, and disposability to consolidate power, we must hold on to and grow ours.
Our power is grounded in our values that proclaim the transformative power of love and harness the enduring power of community.
We are the antidote to our fear.
We light our chalice as a symbol of the light within us and the life that flows through the world around us. It is our beacon as we search for truth. It is the warmth in our hearts for love, and it is the energy that propels us to action. May we be kindled by our time together.
Intertwined with every thought is a tender strand that life has wrought. There's a hope, a fear, a love or grief, braided through each deep belief. Intertwined. That is how we're all designed. Look within and you will find heart and mind intertwined, intertwined. Listen to the daily bread and the nightly prayer. Listen to the newborn baby and
Welcome to the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or ERUUF, as we like to say. I am the Reverend Jim Lewis, Minister of Lifespan, Faith Development, and Pastoral Care. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race, your gender identities, or whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey or in your search for truth, meaning, and liberation, you are welcome here in beloved community. You are especially welcome here this week. If you are visiting with us today, I invite you to rise, if you are so comfortable, in body or spirit, so that we might give you an ERUUF welcome real quick. Is there anybody out there? Oh, good morning. Good morning, folks. Good to see you. Excellent. Thank you for choosing to spend some of your time on this Sunday morning with us. Thank all of you for choosing to spend some of your time on this Sunday morning with us. And if you are on the live stream, hello also. And if you are visiting on the live stream, you might even say something in the chat box if you have access to chat, and somebody can greet you there. Now, I will say, you may notice that today Reverend Jacqueline and Reverend Daniel are not here, and I am here and present, and but I am not preaching, because I am about to go, after our time for all ages, I will go over and help with the celebration for our departing RE coordinator, Melissa Smith. But because that is true, you have a special guest minister today who is, let me skip to where I actually put this information in my script, because I don't have a good memory, so I write it all down. Our special guest minister today, who's also a great colleague, Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson, is back in our pulpit. Yes. If you don't know Lisa, since 2020, Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson has served as the executive director of the Unitarian Universalist Justice Ministry of North Carolina. In this role, she has the privilege of organizing UU congregations across the state to powerfully contribute to the movement for justice through spiritual grounding, collaboration, and imagination. And I will tell you, I needed her sermon this morning. I'm only sad I don't get to hear it a second time in person, but I'm happy to be where I will be. So thank you very much for receiving Reverend Lisa warmly. Also, for our visitors, we always have this class called Inquirers, and it's for you to find out more about ERUUF and Unitarian Universalists in general. And it happens before this service at 10 o'clock. So you can't go today if you're visiting and you decide you wanted to. But you could go next week. And it happens in the building next door in the Commons room. It also happens on Zoom. And you can get more information about that in our visitors area outside. So we'd love to see you there. There is childcare. Also, if you have children with you, they are welcome to participate in our religious exploration time for children and youth. And that happens as you will, after the time for all ages, when you will see all the children and their parents kind of go out the door for just a little bit, and then we get everything settled and the parents all come back in. So they are free to come with us, and somebody on our RE staff will help you out with getting settled with all of that if you would like to be part of that. Let's see. Oh, a couple announcements. Something that is, it's not the best news, but it's not the most serious news. I have to tell you, there will be fellowship hour today. There will not be coffee. Please don't get too upset. Please don't get too upset. Look, a thing happened with a pipe, and the kitchen in the fellowship hall is not exactly functioning just at the moment. We have tried to fix it before today. It didn't quite get fixed. It is in process. Please don't get too upset. And also, fellowship hour is not canceled. It is still happening. There's just no coffee today. You know, you just might want to bring your own cup of coffee next week just in case, but it is in progress. So don't be too panicked. We love you all. We just couldn't get it all fixed by today. But please go to the fellowship hall for two reasons. One of which is our coming of age youth are having their fundraiser for their Boston trip this summer to decrease the cost of going on the trip. It is fairly expensive. You could sponsor part of the trip by either using a QR code or writing a check. They will be over there. There's also, is that where Caleb's going to be? Caleb might be there. Where are you, Caleb? Yeah, Caleb, who is our justice coordinator, who also works for UU Justice Ministries of North Carolina, will be over there, I think potentially with an opportunity to sign up for something. And this is our Generosity Sunday. And so I'm very briefly going to introduce, in just a moment, our Generosity Sunday recipient. And they will be over there with more information. So there's tons of reasons to go to fellowship hour and just to say hi to everybody. Not only the coffee. I see you, Paige. I see you. I love it. Laugh. We need more laugh. We need tons of laughter. So this is a great time to turn off or down any worship mode device, and into worship mode any devices you have on you that might make noise. Yes? Oh, there's cake over there too. There's cake. So, turn your devices into worship mode because musical interludes are great, but please leave them to our musicians. And only the expected interludes today. We're going to take a deep breath together, in and out. And now we welcome our Generosity Sunday recipient, a representative from Transplanting Traditions Community Farm, Christy McCaw.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christy McCaw. I'm the Director of Development at Transplanting Traditions Community Farm. Thank you so much for having us here today. Transplanting Traditions Community Farm works to connect culture through food and farming. It began and is led by refugees from Burma who are interested in continuing their farming practices in their new home. Our mission is to uplift food sovereignty in the refugee community through access to land, education, and opportunities for refugee farmers to address community food insecurity and the barriers they face in reaching their dreams of farming. The farm also provides a cultural community space for refugee adults and youth to come together and recreate home and continue agricultural traditions in the Piedmont of North Carolina. Transplanting Traditions Community Farm is very much a grassroots organization and community-led organization with many of the original farmers, their children, and other members of the community from Burma in key roles, including our wonderful executive director, Riri Wei, who couldn't be here today but has attended this service before. We have 4 key programs. Our farmer education program teaches farming and business skills, particularly as many of our farmers come from a very different farming climate and also might have different business practices. And it also provides lots of farm-wide leadership roles. Perhaps our most well-known program is our CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture Program. This is where customers can buy vegetable shares throughout the year. Our farmers offer fruits and vegetables that are probably very well known, but also it's exciting that they offer lots of fruits and vegetables that are probably very unique to this area. Finally, we have a children's and youth program. We offer early childhood programming, new parent support, tutoring, summer programs, and youth programs that are all culturally appropriate and focused on food justice. Zari and Teresa are 2 farmers from Burma who you may see at some local farmers markets, as they have now developed their own successful businesses. When they began, they were growing food in a small community garden, but found a sense of belonging within Transplanting Traditions and wanted to do more for their family and community. They eventually started with just a few CSA members, but continued to grow in their skills and confidence, and now have over 50 CSA members each week, and are now have financial security and have been able to accomplish their dream of becoming full-time farmers and are ready to be independent. This past week, we had the winter growing school, where it was so exciting to see a lot of the new farmers who are still more in the beginning stages, but very much on that same trajectory as Zari and Teresa. To end, I just want to share with you our motivation and vision so that you can join in on picturing that vision as well. Transplanting Traditions envisions a world in which all people have access to healthy, affordable food, land, education, satisfying work, and a space to celebrate culture and to build strong, resilient communities. Thank you.
And I'm going to say thank you to Christy as I pull out my stool. Thank you, and later when we get to the offering, please contribute. And now we prepare for our time for all ages. Our smallest and mediumest and tallest are coming down or staying back or wherever they need to be today. And I have a book that was chosen by Reverend Lisa. And I think it was chosen because I think a lot of the time you got this question about like, what can I do in the world? Especially when things seem really hard. How many people have felt like things were really hard this week? Now take a look behind you, kiddos. I'm with you. Things have seemed really hard at some points this week. Sometimes a lot of points this week. And I want you to think about today, what are some of the things you might like to do, but not just like to do? What are some things that you could do to help? Maybe not even the things that would be your first choice, but the things that if somebody needed you to help out with something, you're like, I could actually do that. I didn't think of it before, but I could do it. Because this book by Deepa Iyers, who is, I gotta make sure I say the words right, it's that memory thing I told you about. Deepa Iyers developed a social change ecosystem map in 2017. And this children's book is based on that map. So let's get into it. Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our own town. It's also true of Durham. Help new friends plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? So we're going to have some different roles. I'm going to ask for some hands or some wiggles in a second. We are the builders. Think about, could you be a builder? We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? Anybody want to join the builders? Oh, a few people. Go, raise your hand. Let me see you. Or wiggle in your spot. Yeah, I see a number of people. I want to join the builders. I'm not good at it unless it's IKEA furniture. So somebody would need to teach me if somebody needed me to join the builders, and that's okay. That's okay. We are the caregivers. Hello? Oh, there I am. We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer, care kits for all near and dear, acts of service and words that mend. How can I help my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? Do we have some caregivers out there? Yeah. Now, I notice different people have different roles, and that's okay. It is good for all of us to do something, but maybe we don't all do the same thing. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect. Stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits. Gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? Do I have frontline responders out there? I see some over there. I see some down here. I see some down here of every stripe, too. That's great. Oh, we are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? I love it, y'all. Love it. Oh, this is one that I really love, and it's another one that I'm like, oh, I'm not good at this. I would have to get good at this. We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise, solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? I love that this is part of the book. I am not. Are you a good experimenter? Okay, I'm not, but I'm glad you are. And I'm glad that there's other people who are, because I'm not as good at that. Now, a disclaimer before we go to this page. This is about visionaries. Look, y'all, I know you love to be visionaries, and we got to get lots of visionaries from different paths. So we can all want to be visionaries, and we might be. And also, we need a broad span of visionaries, right? So be ready to be visionaries, but be ready to share that space. Be ready to share the space of visionaries, right? We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free. Bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? Mm-hmm. Yes, you too. I love these little calls of me too. Oh, I love this one because I didn't expect it. We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. Notice it's not actually thread, although you could weave with thread too, but it's weaving people. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? We've got some weavers out there, yeah. We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? Yeah. I love it. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art, bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? You love the art part. I got that. And see, this is the thing. Sometimes when things are hard, we forget that joy is important and enjoyment is important. Like, not because joy is right, but it's resilience and resistance to actually enjoy ourselves sometimes in hard times. Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, that is our main character, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom honest and clear. Now that it's clear what we each can each do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change your community? Oh my gosh, yes?
I'm a story.
You're a story preller?
I'm an experimenter.
Experimenter?
I'm a story.
You like telling stories too? Yeah.
I'm everything.
You're everything? Everything, yeah. Yeah. So today, take these roles. Oh, that's excellent. So take these roles with you today and learn there is more than one way, but be ready to do what is called. And my friends who are continuing into religious exploration, we are going to continue into community to celebrate somebody who's been very important to us, especially over the past couple of years. And I will join you in one moment.
Peace, salam, shalom. 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 Please turn and greet your neighbor, especially your neighbors you do not know.
This week, in the midst of the snow and below freezing temperatures, I found myself dreaming of spring. Looking out at my barren balcony, I imagine that sacred dance of March seedlings that become sweet little plants that move outside after April's last frost. From those humble beginnings, they find their footing and their strength against the wind and fluctuating temperatures. And by summer, their stems are thick and strong. And their tendrils wrap around my railing and balcony furniture and anything else they can find, allowing the plants to reach towards the sun and produce magnificent flowers and fruits. In a way, our movement for justice is like a climbing plant, rooted in the legacies of all who have come before us and nourished by the rich soil of relationships and trust and skills and experiences, and constantly growing larger and stronger. In the work ahead of us, may we strive to be the tendrils of movement, not the flower or the stem or even the leaves, but the tendrils. In these trying times when the harsh winds threaten to snap or topple the growing plant of our movement, may we be those flexible appendages that stretch and grow and wrap around stabilizing forces, helping the greater whole to reach towards the sky and bear abundant fruit.
Since Reverend Jim is with the RE group right now, they asked me to share the prayers of joys and concerns with you. Each week we hold in our hearts the joys and concerns of this community, be they global, local, or here among us. We invite you to find a position of sitting that allows you to deepen, relax. This morning, we hold concerns and challenges in the broader community. We hold all those affected by the ongoing conflicts in Sudan, Gaza, Ukraine, and all around the world. We are present with all those impacted by wildfires in Southern California, and we hold those feeling fear or already impacted by recent government policies and executive orders across the board, and especially marginalized folks who have been most targeted. In our ERUUF community, we are holding Diane Blount and family as she recently went home from the hospital. Diane and Carol Ann invite your prayers and well wishes. We also hold Jan Moran as she cares for her husband Tom, who is in the hospital. Jan and family appreciate your prayers at this time. David Scheidt wishes us to let us mourn the demise of the rule of law, for it is that serious. Kara Andrade says, my spouse, Eric, died on January 26, 2024. This is the first anniversary of his death. Please light a candle and hold him in your thoughts. Anonymous wishes to say, joy and concern for my son. Changes in his life this week will be big and hopefully positive. Let us take a breath as we hold these concerns amidst those that remain unspoken. And let us take a moment to hold all the joys and possibilities that lay before us in life. Reverend Jim adds a joy that they went to training for ice watchers in Durham yesterday, and the event was so full, they had to turn folks away. Joy for community desiring to come together. Let us hold those that remain unspoken as we take another breath. May we continue to share warmth throughout these moments on our journey. Amen, and blessed be.
Please join me in singing the meditation on breathing, which is hymn number 1009 in the Teal hymnal. Words are on the screen. We'll sing it through about 4 times, and if you know the other parts, please feel free to sing those. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out.
Well, good morning. It's always a joy to be back here at ERUUF. And again, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Lisa Garcia-Sampson, and I proudly lead your UU Justice Ministry of North Carolina. This morning, I invite us to reflect on how each of us may continue to contribute to the movement for justice and liberation in our times. But of course, first, let us begin by naming the growing threats to our people and our democracy that come with this week's transition of power in Washington. On day one of the new administration, we saw a flurry of new executive orders, including the intention of mass deportation of immigrants, the suspension of the U.S. Refugee Administration program's resettlements, and the end to birthright citizenship for those born to undocumented immigrants. We saw the pardons of January 6 rioters, including 50 from North Carolina, and the establishment of a new Department of Government Efficiency led by the richest man in the world. As wildfires continue to ravage Southern California, our nation withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement on Monday. And on Friday, the president suggested the elimination of FEMA while speaking with North Carolinians impacted by Hurricane Helene. It's been a rough week. But this week, we also saw some powerful demonstrations of the resistance. Protests across the country, Martin Luther King Day celebrations and actions, and the remarks of Episcopal Bishop Marianne Edgar Budde. I take it some of you have seen it. If you haven't, this week at the inaugural prayer service, the bishop at the close of her sermon spoke directly to the new president, sitting in the front pew. It's nice when you got him like that. She said, quote, "In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now." She went on to speak about undocumented immigrants who are good neighbors and essential workers in our communities, and LGBTQ families across the political spectrum. It was a powerful moment, and in just a few days, that message has reverberated across our nation and has sparked a renewed conversation about the role of faith in our work for justice. This is a good thing. I love it. And, of course, we've been knowing the essential role of faith in our movement. Amen? And in 2024, we powerfully lived into that truth. Last year, UU the Vote was by far the largest activation of UUs in the history of our state, with over 1,100 UUs across 21 congregations getting involved. That's nearly 1 in 5 UUs in North Carolina. And together, we reached out to over 100,000 voters in this state. We did that. And the corner, applaud that. That's no small thing. 100,000 voters blew anything we'd ever done out of the water. And the cornerstone of our work last year was a commitment to deepening partnerships with not only other faith communities, but also our statewide partners in justice. Collaborating with You Can Vote and Carolina Jews for Justice on voter empowerment trainings across the state. Postcarding with Reclaim Our Vote. Phone banking with National UU the Vote and Pro-Choice NC. Being vote protectors with Democracy NC. Offering rides to the polls and curing ballots with Disability Rights North Carolina. Door-to-door canvassing with North Carolina Asian Americans Together. And one of my favorites, when Asian American voters were being harassed at the Cary Senior Center in Wake County, within a day, we created a Joy to the Polls choir that helped bring down the temperature and keep people safe at that polling place for the remaining 12 days of voting. Not too shabby. That's that experimenting piece. Finally, UU Justice NC was proud to co-lead the creation of our movement's first ever rapid response safety network. Imagine throwing a dart at the map of North Carolina, any place in the state where voter intimidation or harassment was occurring. Imagine having a network of trained de-escalators so large that a team could be rapidly deployed to that location to support a local community asking for help. That is exactly what we built. We recruited and trained over 140 de-escalators, a third of whom were Unitarian Universalists, who responded to reported threats at the polls, and now we are exploring how to make this new technology a permanent element of our state's community safety efforts as we anticipate heightened threats to our most vulnerable communities in the years ahead. And all these partners that I'm naming, just to be clear, these are not election year partners. These are 365 days a year, every year partners. Organized under the umbrella of Blueprint North Carolina's statewide table, we belong to a network of over 120 organizations in formation with shared values and shared strategies working together. And I say this to remind us that despite the challenges that we face, we have never been more prepared for this moment. We are organized, we are rooted in shared values, and we are growing. So many in this moment are yearning for an invitation to this party, yearning to contribute and feel connected to something greater than themselves, and that's good because we need everybody right now. Just a few moments ago, I celebrated that 1 in 5 UUs in North Carolina participated in UU the Vote. That is an incredible accomplishment. And you can do the math. That means that 4 out of 5 UUs didn't. And of course, we can take into consideration so many of us who are focused on partisan work, and some folks that we may have missed in the counting. But still, we can be pretty sure that the majority of Unitarian Universalists were not activated in the 2024 election. And we could dwell on that, and I kind of think we should a little. But more importantly, we should recognize that as an opportunity. See it as evidence that we have just barely glimpsed the power of our faith. Today's story for all ages was a wonderful, powerful book called We Are the Builders by Deepa Iyers. In the story, the guide Ramla asks the children to choose how they would help with Community Day. And as Reverend Jim mentioned, Deepa Iyers is not only a wonderful children's author, she is a renowned justice advocate and organizer, and her social change ecosystem map has been inspiring and informing our movement for nearly a decade. Laying out different roles that are needed to create change, these roles are, just as in the book today, builders, healers, artists, and storytellers, bridge builders, frontline responders, caregivers, disruptors, visionaries. And in the story, a question was asked that reverberates far beyond the pages of the book. She said, "The time is now. What role will you play?" Lately, I've been thinking a lot about all the many roles that are required in our movement, and I decided to make a list of just some of the things that our movement partners have asked us for us in the past couple of years. Our movement has asked for sign makers, musicians, pickup truck drivers, a building open from 9 to 5 that can receive deliveries, generators, a choir, somebody who knows somebody at the Utilities Commission, looking at you, Richard, a legal observer in Carteret County, someone who can drive supplies from Winston-Salem to Charlotte that afternoon, a worship space in Rocky Mount, volunteers who will write letters to the editor, who will speak at school board meetings, who will show up at the General Assembly, a civil rights music historian, and people who can drive around in a circle and beep their horn during a car caravan. I'm not done. Children who can make valentines, clergy who can escort Waffle House employees back to work after a strike, home hospitality for those coming from out of state to seek an abortion, ICE Watch volunteers, abortion clinic escorts, mutual aid donors. I say again, mutual aid donors, street medics, drag story hour safety team members, people with experience doing political theater, people with good penmanship, a kitchen and a dining hall that can feed 100 people that night, childcare volunteers, a large meeting space with live streaming capabilities, candy bag assemblers, and door-to-door canvassers. An incomplete list. This is what we need. And beloveds, the good news is that if we get organized, we have the people to do it. I invite you for a moment to think about this amazing congregation. Your physical infrastructure, your skills, your capacity, and your resources. Think about it. Then, combine that with all the resources of all the UU congregations in the state. Then, combine that with the resources of all the values-aligned churches and synagogues, mosques, temples, and gurdwaras in North Carolina. That, my friends, is exactly what we are building in 2025. This year, UU Justice NC is excited to help lead the creation of Blueprint North Carolina's first ever statewide faith table. Since last year, we have been working in partnership with Carolina Jews for Justice, Muslim Women For, the Quakers, the Council of Churches. We're bringing everyone to the table to organize our networks of resources, skills, and capacities in a way that we never have before. Building an asset map of faith communities stretching from the mountains to the ocean. A network of resources ready to be of service to the movement. Let me ask you this. In the long list of things I just read off a moment ago, who here heard at least one role today that you either have the skills to do or simply the willingness to do? Raise your hand. Amazing. And I want to remind us of something that Reverend Jim alluded to in the Story for All Ages. I want to remind us that we cannot be rigid in our understanding of how we think we are meant to contribute. We are called to be those flexible tendrils of movement who grow to meet the moment. Or, in the words of Reverend Elizabeth Wynn, we must, quote, be willing to live our lives in the shape of what is being asked. In the weeks and months to come, rest assured you will hear more from myself and others about how to sign up for these exact roles. But in the meantime, let's talk about what is needed right now. I know many of us are scared and grieving for all those in North Carolina and across the country who are at risk of deportation. Right now, across the state, our partners at Siembra, North Carolina, and others are organizing ICE Watch programs, recruiting and training volunteers to help observe when ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, are present in immigrant communities. And as Reverend Jim mentioned, there were 2 of these trainings in the Triangle just yesterday. Reverend Jim mentioned that the one in Durham was packed with a line out the door. They had to turn people away. Guess how many people showed up to the Raleigh training? 500. And we don't just need Ice Watch volunteers. There are countless ways that we can support the safety and thriving of immigrants and refugees, and your own refugee and immigrant justice group and our Generosity Sunday recipients can attest to that. Who else wants to join this work? Right now, people across the state are also speaking out against the current attempt to silence the votes of 60,000 North Carolinians in order to overturn the results of our state Supreme Court race that has already gone through multiple recounts and careful election audits. Words cannot begin to describe how dangerous a precedent that would be. Right now, groups like Common Cause and the ACLU are leading efforts to call out this blatant attack on our democracy. That includes making phone calls, writing letters, and showing up at rallies. Who wants to join this work? Well, the organizing director of the ACLU is right in the front row there, so. Talk to Artie after service. And finally, I invite you to consider joining us on Fridays at 11 on Zoom for UU Justice NC's Friday Action Hour. Who here has been to Friday Action Hour? A lot of people. Every Friday for the last 243 weeks, UUs and friends across the state have gathered together to take stock of the week's news, hear directly from our partner organizations, and then take action. Last week, we had 70 people in the room. And even if you can't make it on Fridays, you can still subscribe to our listserv and get our weekly list of actions. If you're interested in that, you can sign up after service with your justice coordinator and UU Justice NC's statewide organizer, Caleb Graves. Caleb, would you wave your hand, please? Let's give a round of applause for Caleb. Beloveds, this is a moment where we are called to interrogate the limits of our imagination for what is possible. This is a moment for us to deepen our faith, not in the inevitability of progress or divine intervention, but in us. Put another way, we have to claim our power. And let us also tell the truth that when we deny our power, we betray the movement. We betray those most vulnerable within our beloved community, and we betray ourselves. But when we claim our power, when we are in right relationship with ourselves, then we can know the peace that comes in being tangled up in the work of justice and liberation. I want to end with this. In seminary, I had the privilege of spending a couple of weeks studying immigration on the border of Tucson, Arizona, and Nogales, Mexico. And during the trip, we spent a day with a woman named Joanna Williams from the Keno Border Initiative, a faith-based organization whose mission is migration with dignity. After learning a little bit about their work, we asked Joanna, how do you spiritually sustain yourself in this work? Despite the real scarcity, the real fear that surrounded her every single day, she explained to us that she and everyone in her organization were anchored in a theology of abundance and a vision of what they called the banquet. It's the idea that everyone has a place at the table, and when we all bring our gifts and our stories and our values, that table overflows. We could see it in her eyes that she believed it, that they all believed it, and that every single day they willed that vision into existence, filling the comedor, the dining hall, with nourishment and warmth and love for those attempting to cross the border and for those who had just been deported. And they didn't just provide food and blankets, but birthday parties and music and community art installations and rich spiritual practices. In the challenges ahead of us, we are going to be fighting against a lot. And we know that. But the story of our movement is not what we are fighting against, but what we are fighting for. We too must believe in the abundant banquet. We must be guided and sustained by the vision of a North Carolina where all are included and all thrive, with rights and dignity for all people, with health care, child care, fair wages, workers' rights, affordable housing, fully funded public schools, and an inhabitable earth. That is what we are building together. May we hold the vision of abundance. May we hear the movement calling our name. May we claim our power to build a new way. Beloveds, the time is now. What role will you play? Amen.
It takes many resources as we weave the fabric of beloved community in our congregation. It includes the offering of our time, talent, creativity, imagination, and treasure, all given as we cultivate hearts of generosity toward our mission, vision, and work in the world. A reminder that this Sunday is Generosity Sunday, benefiting Transplanting Traditions Community Farm, which Christy McCaw told us about earlier today. As the greeters come forward to pass the collection pouches, you may place something in it, or we invite you to point your device to the QR code on the screen. If you're watching online, we should have an URL in the chat box. If you need assistance with any of this, you can receive help in the office directly after the service. Ina River Singers will now continue with the offertory.
We are bound together by the trust that stands.
is a feeling like a clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps, the heart will never rest. But shed a little light, oh Lord,
so that we can see.
oh now.
Just a little light, oh Lord.
Just a little light, oh Lord.
Wanna stand it on up.
Stand it on up, oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, now.
Wanna walk it on down.
Won't you shed a little light?
Oh Lord. Can't get no light from a dollar bill. Don't give me no light from a TV screen.
No, 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 no.
When I open my eyes, I wanna drink my fill from the well on the hill.
There is a feeling like a clenching of a fist. There is a hunger in the center of the chest. There is a passage through the darkness and the mist. And though the body sleeps,
The heart will never rest. Shed a little light, oh,
shed a little light, oh Lord.
so that we can see. We can see. Just a little light.
Just a little light, oh Lord, now.
Wanna stand it on up.
Stand it on up.
Stand it on up. Oh, stand on up, Lord. Walk it on down.
Won't you shed a little light? Shed a little light, oh Lord.
Shed a little light, oh Lord.
Shed a little light, oh Lord.
We can see.
Now. Just a little light, oh Lord. Now. Stand it on up.
Stand
Oh, now.
Lord. Walk it on down.
Won't you shed a little light? Shed a little light, oh Lord.
Shed a little light, oh Lord.
Won't you shed a little light?
Shed a little light, oh Lord.
Won't you shed a little light?
We give thanks for all the many gifts of beloved community, especially the gift of belonging.
Please rise and join us in our closing hymn, Building a New Way, number 1017 in the teal hymnal, and the lyrics are on the screen. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day.
Yes. When we all gather at the table overflows with our stories and our gifts and our hopes, and we glimpse what is possible. In this moment of fear and uncertainty, may we give ourselves to the sacred unfolding recipe of liberation. And when we do, our faith will be deepened and our spirits transformed. And together we will usher in that day when all people will know the abundant love of the banquet. May it be so. May we make it so. Amen.
Amen.